only, yeah, like toilet paper is our go-to.
I love getting my hair cut, especially when there's a scalp massage involved.
But she would say, your body is a temple and you need to take care of it.
We have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, where he just ate garbage. How long was that? A year?
Do this. I can't do this without Cassie and the kids enabling me to do this.
I find myself encouraging myself, so I'm like, no, you can do this. Don't give up.
We got lots to say.
I love my husband so much and my son. I had a baby. Her name is Isla.
I want to see the baby. I've definitely had multiple drinks on multiple episodes.
Loosen up.
It's a podcast. We're here to have fun, so enjoy yourself.
Gonna have to get you some. This is the best. Sorry, I could just do this the whole podcast and be like, da 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 da.
Our podcast should be called "We Made It." ... to the trend. ... 7 years later.
It was that 7 years ago, Tiny Hands?
I don't know. Actually,
a while ago.
To be fair, though, I think that trend is almost timeless in a sense.
A timeless. I'll go with it. Sure.
Like,
yeah,
do Tiny Hands really ever go out of style?
Never.
You know, I don't think there's never an opportunity for the humor of Tiny Hands. I can't. That's all I'm looking at right now is the Tiny Hands. Don't adjust the mic. This is too much. I can't handle this. Fuck. Okay, now I gotta buy some Tiny Hands. You take over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
go.
So,
welcome everyone. We're reporting from the trenches of a winter ice storm in the, I don't know what you would call this. This isn't Southern Ontario, and it's not Eastern Ontario. So what are we even?
North Shore.
North Shore. North Shore. Ontario. Yeah, there's been quite a development over the weekend. There are reports of 380,000 people still without power and potentially holding steady till Tuesday.
Are yours the stick hands or the finger hands?
Oh, they're stickies.
Okay, that's good. A little bit more dexterity.
But they convert, guys. For those who've never seen the inside of a...
Oh, shit.
So you can...
Okay, we're good.
You could do this. But yeah. I find the mobility of the little baton...
The little baton hands.
Helpful. Yeah. While I'm handless, have some of my beveragino. So, yeah.
Hey, real quick. I feel like the last couple episodes, we've had some opportunity to start new topics, but we keep postponing them. What have you written down that we've not discussed yet that we need to knock off the list?
You absolutely 100% just cut out at the most important part of what you were saying. The last couple episodes, and then I heard on the list. So what did I miss in between?
You've had items on your list that you wanted to keep discussing, but for time reasons, we keep
talking about other stuff.
Yeah, let's hit the list.
Okay, I do. This is gonna sidebar off to something else potentially, but Gabby Petito.
Oh yeah, still
special.
have not watched.
You haven't watched? Okay, then we will not cover it because I think we both need to be on the same page, so to speak, you know? Okay, there's a few things. There was this one website, and I want to pull this up because it was like about sleep, the importance of dopamine and whatnot. Oh gosh, that's my Instapot soup recipe. No thanks. Watch, it'll be like the one thing that closed in all of my tabs. And our group chat is blowing up, so you might hear ding ding dings in the background. Okay, so
well, that's actually while you're doing that, great conversation.
Yes.
Canadians often don't even say anything to acknowledge the existence of another human being. We might just offer a simple head nod.
Okay.
Where do you stand on the head nod front? Is up?
Apparently the like up nod, the like hey, is rude.
So
But I grew up in a city, so maybe our ways were like really different. I feel like the down nod to me strikes me as a guy thing, and the up nod, not that it's not a guy thing, but I feel like I see more women
more
maybe
feminine.
be, and it's not even
not
more
feminine.
feminine as an like to like point your nose up at somebody is technically kind of rude, but
I just got to go watch this to make sure I'm on the same page here.
yeah. I think that's what they were saying. I thought that was my impression. I could be wrong. It's happened many times before.
I've always been a fan of down is good, up is bad.
Okay.
But maybe less so. Less to suggest that when you see someone walking down the street and you give them a curt head nod down, you know the person. So it's a bit more informal.
It seems
it's a
more
bit
like
more
respectful. Like I bow my head to you. Yeah.
Whereas if I don't know someone and I feel like I need to offer up something so that the eye contact is not awkward,
Yes.
I'll just give them a quick up nod.
Hey. So just context. You're talking about how it's a difference of context.
I think personally
Determines what that
that's
is.
how I determine. If I know the person, it's down. If I don't know them, it's up.
Okay. Oh, Malanta. I really wish that I could find this because it was rather important. Going through all of my
Put it on the poll.
things. Not there. Not there. I was looking for light fixtures at some point.
So much stuff.
Man, they're...
The shit you try to keep track of.
Oh,
we found it!
Okay.
We made it!
Okay, guys, this is from the website Medical Express. The letter express.com. So take what you want from that. Also, it says this is from 2008, so who knows? Just one night. Sorry, the headline is One Sleepless Night Increases Dopamine in the Human Brain. Just one night without sleep can increase the amount of chemical dopamine in the human brain, according to the new imaging research in the Journal of Neuroscience. Because drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness, the findings offer a potential mechanism explaining how the brain helps people stay awake despite the urge to sleep. However, this study also shows that the increase in dopamine cannot compensate for the cognitive deficits caused by sleep deprivation. So, yeah, like they're like, oh, this could be really great because dopamine's fabulous, except for you're sleep deprived, so it's real fucked up. They go on to, so research on 15 healthy participants. They had them test the same, who were either kept awake all night or allowed a good night's sleep. Researchers tested the same participants in both conditions. On the morning of the study, participants rated how tired they were and did cognitive tasks, testing visual attention and working memory. And then they did imaging techniques to like look at their brains more or less and all of this stuff. So anyway, they go into more detail about like the technical what's happening in the brain exactly, but more or less all this to say is that I don't want to say it explains a lot, but like we've kind of touched on this a little bit, like the dopamine detox is a book you recommended.
Dopamine Nation,
okay. And I'm sure that they discuss it in more detail, but we have sources of dopamine everywhere. And I wondered if, I don't know if this is possible, but like I wondered if the opposite was true. Like if
the hands just came back into the frame. Sorry.
I forget, I lost what I was saying. Like if you have too much dopamine, will it cause, because it was saying high levels of dopamine cause sleeplessness. Yes. If I understood correctly.
That, fuck.
Or sleeplessness is increasing our dopamine.
I read that.
Okay.
Sorry, I heard that. I didn't read anything.
Yeah. It's so I feel like we have too much dopamine going on. Our brains are overloaded. Anyways, yeah, I feel like it's a self-feeding loop, possibly, because if your dopamine's high, then you don't want to sleep, and then you're tired, so your dopamine increases, and then it's like this vicious cycle that just keeps going.
You get like manic and overtired. And...
I wondered if that's kind of part of it, and then also, Jordan and I have noticed this. We'll like randomly wake up in the night and just like be awake, and part of me wondered if that's because we are exposed to sources of dopamine via our phones, especially, all the time, and so our brains can't regulate, and they're I don't want to say malfunctioning, that sounds awful, but like, I think, what else do you call it?
Yeah, it's almost like like what you're suggesting. This is what I'm hearing, is that because our brains are so reliant on, maybe, say in your example, devices for that dopamine, that you're waking up in the middle of the night to get a fix. Is that
like
what you're
your
saying?
brain's like, oh, we're like, I don't know.
Can you read?
It's just unregulated.
Can you read that last part again that talked about it? I just want to I guess the effects.
So I feel like the main paragraph in this is, one night without sleep can increase the amount of chemical dopamine in the human brain. Because drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness, the findings offer a potential mechanism explaining how the brain helps people stay awake despite the urge to sleep. So if you're like...
Did it say the brain produces amphetamines?
The brain... Drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness. Yeah. Does the brain produce?
Am I making that up, or did that what I heard?
Dopamine.
Because basically what he said, the thing is saying is, if you take meth, you're going to get a shot of dopamine. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with sleep. But if it means,
study was showing people who stayed awake, their brain chemicals, like the dopamine in their brain chemicals, increased.
Yeah, I guess what I'm hearing then is, if you're trying to force yourself to stay awake, your body's going to compensate by giving you chemicals to help you stay awake, and those chemicals also increase the level of dopamine. Yes. Okay, so that would be then why you get giggly when you're tired.
Yeah, a little bit manic. Yeah.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off. You're going to be dumb.
So the dopamine cannot compensate for the cognitive deficits caused by sleep deprivation, as you mentioned, kind of like those other hormonal effects of being sleep deprived.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it makes it sound, when you go into it, almost clickbaity. Like, if I stay awake for all night, then tomorrow I'm going to be chock full of dopamine, and I'm going to be fucking just tickety-boo. But that's not the case at all, because you're going to crash hard after the dopamine eventually wears off. Yeah. It's not going to last all day. That's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like it was in link to maybe something else that I had read, and forgive me for not having that like ready to go, but
I'll
I
see
feel
what I
like
can
there's
do.
a lot of ties between sleeplessness and dopamine.
Right.
And you were saying dopamine. I haven't read Dopamine Nation, but do they touch on this at all in the
Actually, let me check.
book?
There might be. I feel like it's one of those really interesting, non-nerdy books that comes with a glossary at the end.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Sleep.
They're like, this is for all you simple folk who don't understand.
Nothing about sleep. Nothing directly about sleep, anyway. What else can I look up here? Fatigue. Maybe fatigue? EF. No. They got female modesty, but they don't have fatigue. What else? What else could it be?
Sleep? Sleeplessness?
There's no sleep in here.
No sleep? Oh, sorry.
I just saw methamphetamine.
It's connected.
So, dopamine output affected by. Let's go to page 50. Do, 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 do. Oh my god. I mean, this is drug amphetamine, so it's probably higher concentration.
Okay.
So this is the basal output of dopamine in the brain.
Okay.
In rats, chocolate increased dopamine output in its brain by 55%. Sex was
chocolate.
100%.
100%. Okay, checks out.
Doubling the amount of dopamine that you're outputting. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes.
Nicotine. Go ahead.
People who claim chocolate is better than sex.
Wrong.
Debunked.
Yeah, maybe find someone better at sex.
Facts.
Nicotine is 150%. Cocaine.
100.
This isn't even the crazy part. Cocaine is 225%. And amphetamines is 1,000% increased output.
1,000%.
But there's more.
How does that not make your brain explode?
I'm sure that's why the high is so fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it was methamphetamine. I wonder if amphetamines is in here too. Amygdala. Amphetamines and delayed discounted dopamine output. 103. It was the same reference, just
okay.
Following that mumbling. You know, I laughed so hard. Speaking of mumbling, William was playing with Olivia's like little baby doll stroller in the kitchen. He's just fucking around with it.
Mm-hmm.
And she came in and ripped it out of his hands. And she was bent over fucking with it while she was walking away. And she was, William! And she ripped it out of his hands and then nonstop mumbling to herself on the way out of the kitchen.
I'm sorry, all I could think of before you said Olivia took it away was like William's trying to like do stunts with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not to the evil level that Sid is in Toy Story.
Yeah.
But like that, like, I'm gonna use my sister's toys and use them out of off menu. Is that? I think you can say that. I'm gonna use these toys off menu, like not the way that they're intended to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, off menu. I've never heard of it used that way, but that makes sense.
People usually use it in reference to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Tiny hands are hard, guys. Gotta like keep your sleeves up, but like also make sure the hand still shows. Like not my hand.
Yeah, this book is not providing any
Colin's doing research.
Answers.
Colin's doing research on the podcast. While you're doing this, I'm going to say Anson had a stellar performance at his skating gala today.
Nice.
Holy moly. He was nervous as fuck, like not actually shit his pants nervous, but like I would liken it to that level of fear. And yeah, he went out there and he skated. He was just scared of falling, which we watched the seniors fall a couple times, and I was like, it's fine. Like this, you do it at the gala. You don't do it at like the competition. You know what I mean? Like this is the place to do it. But then, so glad they put her at the end of the first half. This girl who's 17 comes out on the ice, and she might as well be fucking, is it Tessa Virtue?
Sure.
Like, famous skater. But anyways, I think Tessa was doubles with
Scott Moyer. I don't know.
Scott.
Who's keeping track?
Yeah. Scott and Tessa. Anyway, yeah, this girl's fucking phenomenal. I'm like blown away. And I think Isla froze watching it. She like holds my hand and she's like sitting on the edge of her seat, just like watching this girl skate along the ice. And then afterward, like she had already asked this week, randomly out of nowhere, Mommy, I want to do skate dancing. So now figure skating is skate dancing. And I was like, okay, sure. And I was like, we're going to see some people on Sunday. And then maybe you can make up your mind. But after that girl's performance, gosh, I lost Isla. She's in it.
She's done, eh? Hooked.
Well, she's just like, oh my God, you could do that on the ice? Like, she's like twirling super fucking fast. And she's got her leg up in the air. And then they do like where they crouch down and they have the one leg straight.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're spinning on the other foot. Like, just, oh my gosh.
I can't do that on
execution.
Solid ground, you know? That's a...
I could, yeah.
That's a feat.
Totally, yeah. But yeah, Hanson was so cute. All the other kids did so good. Like, you could tell they were just out there having fun. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a skating gala before.
The figure skating club here, I guess, puts one on every year. We missed it last year. They might have had it just before March break, and we couldn't. I don't know. I don't even remember, but I remember we weren't physically in Port Hope.
I see. Yeah.
So you can go, but also Jordan would have had to go out with him because he was in the pre-can. So you're like, it's a parented class, and yeah, he was like, dodged that one. I'm like, yep, for sure.
Speaking of princesses,
yeah.
I guess the Snow White live action movie was not very well done or well received.
So I heard this too. Say more. What did you hear?
So a few things. It's got a collective, like an average rating of 1.6 out of 10 on IMDB. Oh man. And
I'm sorry, 1.6?
I feel like it was, and I
that's low.
I've yet to verify this, but I was told the what's the word I'm looking for? Like lowest rated live action remake that they've done to date.
I'm
worse
shocked.
than Dumbo.
I'm shocked. I didn't think Dumbo was the worst one. I liked Dumbo. I thought it was not bad. I did not like Pinocchio. Could have done without seeing that. Don't ever want to see it again.
I'm not going to watch many of them, I don't think. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Fact.
I'm not interested in seeing the same movie in real life. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just, but I guess the
princess ones are curious because the princess movies are such a franchise, kind of like, I don't want to say standalone, but kind of. And so this obviously is one of the fairy tales, right? So
yeah, Dumbo and Pinocchio are different. But I guess the biggest problem was her press tour and her behavior with the media. The actress playing Snow White.
Okay, she's a new actress too.
Yeah, and she's done. They've you know, like the old timey fucking hook on the stage. They've yanked her.
So do you think that this is her? Like, so some people do this because they're like, if I can't be famous, I'll at least be infamous. And I don't know if infamous is even the right word. But in this case, like, she's just stirring up, like, any press is good press sometimes, right?
She is giving me,
but is this
AOC vibes?
What's AOC?
Like, in this, fuck. The U.S. Congresswoman or whatever, Anna Ocasio-Cortez or something.
Oh, is she the one who's been, like, there have been, oh, fuck. I watched a video this week, and it was like, what 2 videos give off the same energy? And one of them was like...
Alexandria, that's it.
Okay. AOC. That's her initials, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So she, like, the internet is just, everyone calls her AOC because it's shorter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It felt very genuine. Like, this is who this person is. This is how they talk. This is how they behave and answer themselves and handle questions.
She's just a cold, hard bitch.
And honestly, it sounded like she was just being 100% her true self.
Okay.
Which is a self-involved self.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they apparently there was just so many departures from the source content that it made the movie something that people going to see Snow White didn't want to see.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of her media comments were just difficult to, I guess, support or outside of her lane, really, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. So the one clip that I saw was from, I want to say, a year ago. Like, they've been working on this movie a while. And, I mean, that's probably how long it takes to fucking produce a movie. It takes a long-ass fucking time, so who am I to say? But in that time, she, or a long time ago, she said, this movie is not going to be the traditional story of Snow White. It's going to be the story of, the dwarves are still an integral part of the story, but it's not, this helpless princess. It's going to be like a much stronger figure standing up for herself. And I'm assuming that it would have been written at that time, and they were maybe in the beginning stages of filming it, because she didn't speak much to, like, her experience as the character. It was just sort of like the idea of
commentary
what this is going to be.
The arc kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I don't, like, I didn't feel either way about it. I was just like, oh, okay, like, they're doing their own version of this, and that's fine. But maybe it's because I heard this so long ago that I, like, wasn't surprised by the fact that this is the movie. But I think a lot of people, like you said, were going in to see Snow White, a Disney classic tale, a Grimm's Brothers tale. The original, I'm fairly certain,
Disney princess.
Yeah, and because it was Jordan knows that the date actually 53?
37.
37?
Apparently 1937. I'm gonna double check.
Holy shit, that's old as fuck. That's like nearly 100 years ago. So I feel like
yeah, 1937.
To adapt it to a modern audience is getting more and more challenging. Like, I don't know how people would go about producing, not people, like producers, filmmakers, things like this. Like, how do you even go about doing that? You're not doing it to please people. Like, you can't, obviously. And hopefully they never have been doing that. But in some ways, I guess they have to. But with these sort of like classic stories, like they've done Cinderella. Was Cinderella the first one?
I don't know. Oh, that's a good question.
Because there's word on the streets that there's going to be a Rapunzel, which would be cool. They've done Little Mermaid. They've done, Beauty and the Beast. Who else is there? There's
well, I got a list of 25.
The Princess and the Frog. 25.
Well, this one only has 23, but in order from worst to best.
Okay.
Pinocchio.
Worst. Are they saying it's the worst?
I believe so, yeah.
Because you said worst to best. Yes, I was right.
Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Okay.
102 Dalmatians. Wasn't tracking that one.
Dude, that's from the
101
90s.
Dalmatians. Yeah, was tracking that one.
Okay.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Oh, interesting.
Disney's Snow White is number 18. Interesting. This is Rotten Tomatoes, so this is not based off of box office numbers.
Okay. It's just like votes or something?
Yeah, scores and stuff like that, I guess.
Okay.
Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, The Lion King, Maleficent, Mufasa, The Lion King, Aladdin, Peter Pan and Wendy. Number 10, Lady and the Tramp. Did not know about that one.
Oh, it's good.
The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Christopher Robin, Mulan, Cruella is number 5.
Okay.
The Jungle Book is number 4.
Yeah.
Cinderella is number 3.
Yeah.
And that was done in 2015.
Okay.
A lot of these remakes were, like this remake was 1994, Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. So Cinderella's not the original. Pete's Dragon, number 2. And
because there was a Lion King that was done recently.
Yeah, that was the Mufasa one. Lion King Mufasa, I don't know. Maybe it's a prequel.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Simba. The Jungle Book, number 1, 2016.
Jungle Book, number 1. Wow. Good year for Disney. I didn't know there were 2 Maleficents. I feel like that's...
One, I think, was a sequel to the other.
And I know that's not Disney franchise, but the movie about Wizard of Oz that came out this summer, Wicked?
Yes.
That one, like, is fucking hot as hell. That movie's amazing, apparently. So, sorry, Disney. They're being trampled by another franchise. Those are all very interesting. So yeah, Cinderella obviously up there. Sorry, what number was Beauty and the Beast? Can you remind me?
Yeah, I can. Give me one hot second. I think it was like 13. No.
I was like low.
No, sorry. Number 8. It was number 8.
Oh, okay.
It was top
10. Phew.
Peter Pan and Wendy. I skipped that one, maybe? Maybe I said it too fast.
No, you said that one.
Yeah, it's called Mufasa, The Lion King.
So that came out
last year.
I was going to say, was it last summer or something? Irregardless.
Irregardless.
This coming in so low is, yikes, because they've probably spent quite a bit of money on this whole thing. I don't know if people are tired of... I don't know what it is.
Well, I think it's because...
Was it too woke?
I think it was too woke, to be honest. I think this was the straw that broke the...
to be woke.
So Disney canceled their contract with her. They canceled, like, I don't know if they canceled the contract with her, but they pulled her off the press tour for the movie, which is a huge thing because that's a contractual thing. When they sign on to do the movie, they also have to agree to go travel and do all this bullshit promotion.
And then, but maybe that was her way of getting out of it.
Well, maybe.
She was like, if I'm a stone cold bitch.
But she's suing.
She's suing. Oh, okay.
So obviously she didn't plan this.
She's like, I couldn't fulfill my contract. You wouldn't let me. Is that the argument?
Well, I'm sure she's saying you're robbing me for potential income.
And exposure.
And that's
it.
As an
actress,
on social media, yeah. But I think she really just shot herself in the foot. She ran her mouth a lot.
Yeah.
Provided a lot of personal opinions instead of just talking about the movie and the characters.
Okay.
Talking about what she thinks about the characters. Outside of... She's like, it's not 1937. There's not going to be a prince. There's not going to be... she's not waiting for some man. And I'm like... It's not 1937, you're right.
Yes.
If you remake the movie,
Like, just make a new movie. If you don't want it to be that story, just make a different story.
100%, yeah.
But they're like stealing
otherwise it's just
clout from Snow White.
Exactly. They're just riding the coattails.
To get the message. I shouldn't say clout of Snow White, but like people, all of these Disney princesses are beloved by some group.
Well, and I think too, we overlook how often, she's trying to make the female lead be this strong, brave, courageous lead of the movie kind of thing. I'm like, that's great, but strength looks like a lot of different things. Courage looks like a lot of different things. I remember being like fucking honestly terrified about the forest scenes when I was a fucking little kid.
They're meant to be scary, yeah.
Watching Snow White. And I'm like, you know what? If I was this fucking young, beautiful princess, that's weird. I'd be
gonna have to clip that and use it later as a soundbite.
I'm a 36-year-old grown-ass man, and I would be fucking terrified if I just found myself in the pitch dark forest one day. No idea where I am. No idea who's looking at me. I'd be just yelling at the top of my lungs, just making a fuck ton of noise, trying so hard to start a fire. But she's just chill as fuck. She's just she starts singing and dancing with all the animals. I'd be trying to kill them.
You're like, who do I eat first?
I have to wear you.
You know, she's like, will you help me? Yeah.
And then, I mean,
I felt like so the character originally to me struck me as somebody who was just like so genuinely kind.
He's just a nice person.
She's just a nice person, and someone else who's more important is jealous of her and has the power to send her for an attempted assassination. And
right for the picking.
And because she's such a nice person, she's
also an easy target.
Yes, but the henchman who gets sent out to murder Snow White is like can't follow through and is just like, go, be free, don't ever come back. And I just like as a core character, she's a good person, and I feel like that was the whole point of the story, was just like she happens upon this house, she's like, oh, it's dirty, I'll clean it, and then
it's like the first episode of Hoarders.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'll clean it up, and like has her forest friends come I don't know, it's a fantastical story, like it's fantasy, it's not real, and injecting like woke beliefs is unnecessary for so many reasons. Like, it's also a kids movie. We don't need to be like subjecting them to the wild ways of the world.
Yeah, like political
and the wild political discussions that are happening in the world via a movie like Snow White. Like that, I don't know. I don't want to say that's what school's for, but kind of like it's where they're supposed to learn that shit. Not at the movie theater.
No. And
does that make any sense?
It being primarily a children's movie.
Yeah.
The message should be something that the kid can ingest, which isn't fucking this woke nonsense. What it shows is someone who's in trouble.
Yeah.
And who solves their problems. That's what Snow White does. Never mind the 7 weird fucking guys living in the woods.
7 bros living in the woods.
It's got frat house written all over it. You know what I mean?
1,000%. She literally walks in. She's like, "Who lives here?"
It's like
so dirty.
What was that movie? Was it House Bunny? House?
No, I don't know. What is that? It was
like I don't know. Some broad has to go in and be like the adult supervisor at a sorority house.
Oh my god, that sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard of.
The House Bunny. It was with Anna Faris.
The House Bunny. Oh,
the house
Anna
mother.
Faris,
she becomes the house mother for a sorority full of girls. So she became the frat mother of these degenerates.
Nice.
But it's also hard to. I think most people enjoy watching movies or TV shows or reading books because they can find a way to relate to a lot of aspects of many different characters.
Okay.
And if the person who's playing the main character is always in the news, just running wild with their thoughts and opinions, and I mean, a lot of it is like, like when you hear like someone from Boston talk, you're immediately like, you got to work a lot harder for me to find you attractive. You know what I mean? It's difficult to relate to a Disney princess when that Disney princess in real life is just fucking spitting venom all the time.
Yes. Okay. So I agree, because you're right. Like, if kids come across a snippet of the interview and she's saying something that is like a really opinionated, left, right, or indifferent, like, it's whatever, right? But kids will tend to absorb those ideas, thoughts, or opinions if it's somebody, like you said, that's on a big screen portraying this character that, maybe they read their bedtime story about every night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we're kind of like forcing actors' opinions onto people in a way.
Well, and it's also just.
So yes, I can see why they took her off the press tour, because they were probably like, oh my God, all these kids are going to see her saying this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
we got to clean up this mess quick.
At least if they're just saying stuff that they've been told to say.
Sure.
Someone watching could be like, oh, like, still a line or like adjacent to, that's the real fucking deal. That's the princess.
Yeah.
Whereas you hear this other one, like, you sound nothing like Snow White. There's no way I can imagine you as Snow White now.
Right. And again, if she is that opinionated and she really wanted to say all of these things, like, maybe that's the hill she's willing to die on as well, I'm thinking. And like, her friends who are all in her same age group are probably like, oh my God, you like really spoke your mind. That's so amazing. Good for you. Without kind of putting that background of your audience is mostly kids. Like, you're trying to talk about adult subjects to adults, but this is really just being absorbed by children, and like, this isn't the right
things that might not get absorbed
venue.
by children.
Right.
And this is kind of separate. Like, I find it difficult to talk about someone professionally and then criticize them personally.
Okay, sure.
In
and like, we don't
showbiz, I feel like it's hard not to, because they, for some reason, feel like it's important to be commentators on everything.
And there's a expectation, like, there's a change of expectation from people. Like, silence is no longer permitted.
Yeah, like, don't be offensive or tell me where you... And so to that, like, I mean, it's like you're reading my mind. She wrote a tweet supporting Palestine. It was just a short one, like, whatever, free Palestine. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
And everyone obviously knows that is a hugely charged, controversial topic.
Okay.
And it's like
a massive.
Are you trying to like slingshot? I don't know actually if she was famous before or not.
I don't know either.
I don't think
to me,
she's
a new actress. Yeah.
And so maybe she's like, oh, great. Now I've got a platform. I can start to use that voice I've been cultivating for so long.
And there's a big push to do that. If you have a platform, use your voice. If you're not using your voice, then you're just a sheep amongst everybody else and you're like wasting our time, blah, blah, blah. Like,
well, she
it's almost part of the job.
Into the PR pool.
Yeah, she was like, woo!
Yeah, instead of just like, let the movie finish, let it do the media, and then be successful.
And then bombard them.
And then be you.
Yeah.
But maybe let the success come. It's like, counting your chickens before they hatch kind of thing. She was just fucking cracking all them eggs, and nothing came out. Poor girl.
Oh,
poor girl.
Yeah, sorry. But I mean, she'll probably be fine.
Oh, I'm sure she's still getting paid.
This will all blow over in a few years. Like, she'll pick up a role in a few years and they'll be like, oh, she seems familiar. And they'll say, oh, yeah, she was the one who played Snow White. And they're like, oh, wow, she's really matured. She's changed. She's playing this character differently. Like, I think also with being a new or younger actress, you maybe aren't going to get necessarily 100% the roles that you align with politically or whatever your values are. That'll come with time, won't it?
I mean, and even then, like,
you got to work your way up a little bit.
I don't think anyone who's going to be waiting for their platform to be the appropriate size and time for them to start getting involved like that. You maybe should just like learn when to get involved and when not to. Like, timing matters, and just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you should share it. And
that too.
People forget, like, you're always working for someone. Someone's always going to be upset with what you have to say, and if that person can also fire you,
trouble.
Maybe don't cause, like, Gal Gadot, and I'm not sure that this is relevant at all, but as an interesting fact at the same time, she's Israeli.
Ooh. So
for her co-star and the movie's lead to it's the hands.
They're
just
chilling.
To be taking such a profound stance. Not a profound. But
what was that like working together if she's politically
you support the people that are killing my people?
Yeah,
great. I don't know. Maybe
but Gal Gadot did not choose her nationality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Palestinians didn't either, and they're still
exactly. But I feel like
I guess what I was saying,
people aren't getting mad at each other for those things. I don't know. You can't.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's hard to know. You assume someone's from a place, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Well, I hate you because you're Israeli, and I'm pro-Palestine.
And I bet you it's more often too, like, Gal Gadot is like, yeah, I really wish this wasn't happening. I really wish everyone could just...
I'm sure any reasonable person feels that way. I'm sure any reasonable person's like, yeah, I don't think there should be this massive war happening and people dying. And
I wonder if Gal Gadot was pulled aside by, like, the studio execs and being like, hey, is this going to be a problem?
Oh.
She
probably went into her interview, the girl who played Snow White, she probably went into her interview. She's like, I'm pro-Palestine, by the way. She's she's like so opinionated.
I'm here to audition for Snow White. Go Palestine.
Pro-Palestine. It's like in your resume next to your pronouns, like who you support.
Fuck.
That's terrible.
We got off topic there. So yeah, long story short,
Snow White sucks.
Not doing a great movie. Not enjoying its day in the sun. I don't understand. Not
bringing in the big bucks like they thought it would.
No, it's they were riding high in April, coming down in May.
I feel is vindicated the right word about fucking Pinocchio.
Yeah, vindicated. I think vindicated.
I think I hated that movie. Like, I was just so mad. I was like, I wasted my life watching this. It's terrible. And it's Tom Hanks.
I was going to say something, too. I forgot. You just reminded me.
He plays... Is it Giuseppe, the dad?
Giuseppe? Geppetto.
So he plays Geppetto. And I was like, they could have cast 1,000 people for this. Why'd you pick Tom Hanks? Like, what
they chose poorly.
He's, I think, an Academy award-winning actor, if that holds any credence or value anymore. I don't know, but
you want to test your fucking spelling abilities? Fucking Pinocchio. That and the word rhythm.
P-I-N-O.
See, I thought it was 2 N's.
Is it C-C?
Yep.
H? Oh. 2 C's and H. Yeah, it's fucking weird though. Pinocchio. It's like Wednesday.
What was its rating? Pinocchio got 5.1 out of 10 on IMDB.
How much money did that movie make? I'm curious.
Oh, hang on, let me go back.
I want to see some real Numericals.
So according to IMDb, its budget was $150 million.
150 million. What the fuck?
This says 33,000, but it's got to be 33 million. This is from IMDb.
33 million. Wow. They fucked up. And that movie, I feel like it was pretty much like...
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't want to say original to the... or accurate to the original. But
I see what you're saying, yeah.
It was pretty close, so maybe they were like, that was our problem. We stuck too close to a dated time, like, outline of a movie. And so they decided, not this time. We're gonna refresh, change the story.
It is saying $33,000.
I mean,
I wonder if it was released like straight onto Netflix or something.
It was released straight onto Netflix.
So yeah. that'll impact the box office. So that's
right,
that's
because it wouldn't have had
one.
It wouldn't have had a box office.
Like all the ticket sales, people would have just waited for it to drop.
Yeah, it would have just shown up on Disney.
Dumbo was rated 6.3. And it grossed $353 million on a $114 million budget.
Okay. So, like, it did well. Okay. I've seen that one a couple times. I like Dumbo. I don't know.
Dumbo. I wonder what people
don't like
IMDb rating for Snow White is 1.6.
That's brutal.
It is so low.
That's very bad. And you know who it sucks for? A lot of people, but I'm thinking of Gal Gadot because she's an excellent actress. She's done great movies.
I feel like that's the risks, though, right? Because you see the great name; it's a known property, and then you're like, all these other remakes have done pretty good.
Yeah.
I should be okay with this. I should be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, man. So its budget was $66 million, and it pulled in $144 million in box office. So
which
it wasn't
one? Sorry,
Snow White.
Okay.
So it wasn't. They didn't lose money on it.
No, they've made some cash.
But it's not going to make any more, I don't think.
Well, the way, especially if the feedback from opening weekend is that, that it's not worth seeing.
Is this when it came out? When did it come out?
I haven't heard. Yeah, I think
March 23rd, 2025. Okay. Opening weekend.
I feel like that's never what you want to hear.
It had a budget of $250 million.
$250 million. Oh, that changes things a lot.
It made $42 million on opening weekend. $68 million gross US and Canada. 66 million, sorry. And gross worldwide, 143 million. So
it's only made half of its budget so far.
It may have broken clear. I gotta crunch the numbers here.
Because you said 255 and its global gross is 140. Is that including the numbers you already said in Canada?
So I'm going to include all of those numbers.
All okay.
42206 415 plus.
You're saying numbers and I just blank. Brownout
plus. Yeah, so they made a profit of like $2 million.
Oh,
$250 million estimated budget, $252 million box office so far. Thumbs down. Oh, sorry. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know why they keep putting fucking songs in these remakes. Like the
like turning them into musicals.
Because the originals Did they all have songs in them?
A couple of them. Yeah, they have some songs.
But they weren't musicals, were they?
They weren't considered musicals, no.
Okay, so then I get confused.
No, but they did have musical elements to them. Like, there's a scene where they're cleaning and there's music playing, she's singing. I feel like Cinderella has a scene. It's like maybe one scene in the whole movie. Gave it a little musical element. I feel like when all these movies were originally being done, the previous form of entertainment was theater. So you would go and you wanted to hear people singing.
Yeah.
Or you would go and expect it as part of the story. And so when they started doing film, that rolled right into it. You had to be able to do all the things you could in theater on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Including sing, dance, all of that. I don't know much about the history of filmmaking and whatnot, but I can only assume that that's sort of what happened.
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm back.
I.e., I was just talking out of my ass just now. But I hope it's accurate.
That's mostly what I do. I have thoughts.
Say shit.
And sometimes they feel like super legit, and then I got to share them. But who knows? Who knows? So
what you're saying is what you're sharing with us is the filtered content.
Yeah, this usually on the podcast it's highly filtered.
Highly filtered.
If I was in a different environment, it might be less filtered. My big concern.
Yeah.
I
was going to try and say it in Spanish, but I don't even know how now. Anyways, it's past.
I just don't think I'm ready to be in a situation where people just soundbite me and then I get dragged all over the internet. I got a good name. I've worked hard for this, and I don't want. I'm just kidding. I don't have a good name. I'm just assuming one day we're going to get to be at a spot where
people will be soundbiting us.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and I just got to be careful because I don't think I can handle it yet.
Handle it. Yeah, but we'll build up to it.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, just like when we were watching the gala today, we watched the junior skaters, and there was one girl, and she got so much fucking pep. This girl's like in it emotionally.
Yeah,
she's invested. They said she's been skating for 3 years, and like I would say she's like really good for a 3-year person. Like they showed a few of the different levels, so like can skate 2s, can skate 3.
Right.
It's like the progressions, and she's like a stronger skater, I'd say. But I don't know. You could just like see it in what she was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the joy, the excitement. Mm-hmm. Now you do something and you're like, this is what bare minimum looks like. I've been asked to perform this task and this is how it will look.
Did you Amy Poehler, am I saying her name correctly?
Yeah.
She has a podcast with
Tina Fey?
No. Well, maybe, but this particular episode was with the girl who plays Karen in The Office.
Oh, Rashida Jones.
Yes, thank you. So maybe she was the guest that week, but she was like, Amy Poehler was saying, I started this podcast specifically to show people, like, stop doing it all. She's like, there's this big push to like give 100%. She's like, no, give 65. It made me laugh because I'm sure she's not giving 65%. You know what I mean? But
I think that's a really great point.
She's like, I'm trying to normalize this, you guys. It's too much.
Yeah, you can't give 100% everywhere.
Yeah.
I give
all
100%
the time, every day.
Total in a day.
100%?
I give 100% total in a day.
So break that down for me.
My existence for the day is that 100%.
Oh, yes, I see.
All of everything I do will add.
I woke up,
to 100.
I lived, I went to sleep. Yeah.
You want me to brush my teeth? That's 1% I can't put somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
See.
Yeah. Coffee, 2%.
It's like a scale of like
yeah, like 20%. It's a budget. You're right. It's
yes.
certain I divide myself into Horcruxes of fucks to give,
Nice.
and I give those out
That's
to
the name of the episode.
Horcruxes.
Horcruxes of fucks. How would you even say that? I feel like you asked me ages ago about my checklist items, and I've covered a total of one, but I also feel like I don't want to bring another one up at this time.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. This is
But I do want to ask this question because it is a question. I think it is also a commentary about the value and changes in science and whatnot. But boomerisms, we haven't done in a while.
right.
And I don't know if this counts as a boomerism, but I don't know what else to call it. So bear with me for a moment. The commonplace use of the amniocentesis.
Yes, commonplace use
Is a boomer thing. Let me explain. So, amniocentesis, for those who don't know,
Thank
it's
God
when
we're there.
It's a procedure a woman has done when she's pregnant if she wants to rule out birth defects or
yes,
get more, because they go in, they poke a little hole in the amniotic sac. Very risque to me. I'm like, are you trying to pop this balloon, bro? Like, don't do that. Anyway, and then they extract amniotic fluid.
Right. For a centesis.
And then that's, yes, for a centesis. So they test it and they do all this information gathering. So my mom has talked about having this done.
I just had this dumb thought.
When she was pregnant with my brother, because, they would have called her terminal pregnancy because they were so fucking cruel back then. But like, they call it geriatric pregnancy now, over 35. And so sorry, Mom, I've divulged some information about your age. But this being said, she was like worried about my brother. I think there just wasn't as much scientific research and knowledge, and like, you can very much safely be pregnant at 38 and like nothing go wrong. That being said, there's also new, more accurate testing that they do through a blood sample now.
Interesting.
At an earlier date and like earlier on in the pregnancy. Like, my mom had to be, it was like in the 20s weeks pregnant when she could have the amnio done. 24 maybe? Maybe this is a fact check thing that I should be double checking. But anyways,
sure.
Point is, they do these blood tests now that are super easy. Like, anybody's had a blood test, they send it off to the lab. You get way more info than you did before. And I think you can have it done as early as like 8 or 10 weeks. Like, it's like very... it's revolutionary,
right?
So like, they still offer, obviously, the amniocentesis. You can still have it done. They still consider it like a very safe procedure, and it's something that you can do if you're suspecting something in the pregnancy, couldn't maybe detect it before. This is still a thing, but by and large, I think people aren't doing them in the same way boomers were. It was like,
I didn't realize boomers had that kind of access to it.
Oh, to me, it was like a pregnancy, I don't know, rite of passage. Did you get your amniocentesis? And like, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I've just heard of a few people our parents' age saying that they had it done.
I'm trying to...
I was like,
yeah.
I'm thinking like, as a procedure that might have been kind of new.
Damn.
Then. Was it new? What's damn? We got some facts up in here.
I was looking up the history of this thing.
Okay. I'm going to say, speaking of spelling, this would be a tricky one to spell.
No, I don't want to brag, but when I put it into Google, I guessed it spelling correctly on the first try.
So not that difficult.
They've used this process of inserting a needle to extract amniotic fluid.
Amniotic fluid.
Amnions for the management of hydroaminos or excessive amniotic fluid as early as the late 1800s. So they've been doing stuff like this for 130
the late
years.
1800s? Why were they extracting amniotic fluid? Were women getting too... You look too pregnant, Betty.
Well, for the management of hydroaminos or excess amniotic fluid. So
what do you mean excess amniotic fluid?
Maybe there's too much water.
Maybe it used to be a thing.
Bag.
Maybe we're discovering that there was a thing that used to be a thing that's not a thing anymore.
In the 1950s, amniocentesis was used to diagnose and determine the severity of rhesus disease.
Okay.
Which is when you say like I'm O positive, the positive or the negative is your rhesus factor.
Oh, the R factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you've had actually I don't know why. I know because you've had a surrogacy, you've also been given medicine to prevent any issues resulting from rhesus factors.
Yeah. It can happen. It's a totally random thing, but it's just like your blood type not agreeing with the blood type of the baby. Is that the one?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your antibodies start.
Yeah, it's like
attacking.
To prevent a rejection.
Yeah.
They
didn't. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't. They had that soon. I feel like I heard of. It would have been boomer age parents being like, oh yeah, no, they were very worried about this and they couldn't manage it and blah, blah, blah.
In the 60s, a technique was developed in the 50s and this was used in the 60s.
Okay.
To conditions such as Duchenne muscular dystrophy and hemophilia. So I'd say the 60s is when they would start using it to...
In a commonplace kind of...
Yeah, and... Okay. In 66, they were able to culture amniocytes that could undergo karyotyping, which is...
Oh, wow.
We don't need to go any further. We all understand what that means.
I believe karyotyping is just identifying blood, no?
Well, in 1972, I'm going to skip past that because I don't know.
Okay.
These two doctors found that higher amniotic alpha fetoprotein levels were associated with neural tube defects. So maybe that's right around too when it really started to gain some. Because that's how I understood it. If these
babies were too alpha, that's what you're telling
me. So alpha that they had neural tube defects, Jenna. So insensitive. So you guys. I was like, that's such a bad fucking joke. But yeah, so I also grew up in a different community too. Like my family is super Catholic, so finding this stuff out about your baby before the baby was born
was like a dishonor to God.
I don't know. I didn't fully understand the why behind it, but my takeaway from the conversations I've had is that like it might want you to not have the baby.
Oh, like it's a sign from God?
No, like if you do the test and you find out that your baby has got
disease A, B, C,
you know what I mean? Like, and you don't want that child to be, maybe it's for the, like, I won't question the reasons of the parents.
Okay.
The ultimate point would be that maybe they don't want to have the child. So,
okay.
So yeah, maybe that's why I was not as aware of these things happening, because maybe it wasn't happening as much in the Catholic
circles
world
that you were frequenting.
Yeah, that I was
at that time when you were a child talking.
When I was
to
being
boomers about
brought to frequent too. Yes. So
yeah, it's just like it's a reach, I guess. But I just felt like I heard people who are now grandparents talking about pregnancy experiences and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, that amniocentesis. Oh, my God. When I got that done. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I know. Do I know anybody who's had this done? Like,
I want to say I know like two. I don't even know if we did it. I can't tell you. I feel like I know. I want to say two people. The worst part is I can only tell you one that I think might be one of these two people. I can't tell you who the second one might be, but I'm pretty sure that there's been more than one person in my life tell me that this is something they've done. But yeah, it's that's a tricky one.
Can you tell me off mic?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to bother me way too much.
Yeah,
I'll be
for
like,
sure.
What?
Yeah. And for anyone else, if you really want to know, that this kind of stuff will be part of our Patreon subscription process. You just got to pay for all the dirty deeds.
Yeah, you got to pay for the tea, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
For this week.
On that note, thank you all so much. Good luck with your future amniocenteses. If
hopefully you don't have to do those.
For anyone who can't see, Jenna's waving her incredibly small hands, saying goodbye. Thank you all for joining us.
Time.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, download, make us successful
Thumbs
in the podcast. All right. Hit it.
Toodles.